Welcome to episode number 15 of the Eli Angle podcast. I'm your host, Eli Donnell. Let's dive right into it. Starting with the MLB opening day is today, Wednesday, the 25th. It will be the Yankees and Giants from Oracle Park in San Francisco at 8:05 Eastern on Netflix. Max Fried will have the ball for the Yankees and Logan Webb will have the ball for the Giants. Matt Vasgersian will lead the play-by-play, joined by Hall of Famer CC Sabathia, four-time All-Star Hunter Pence, and Lauren Shahadi will be doing the reporting. In the studio, it will be Ellie Duncan alongside Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, and Anthony Rizzo. Bert Kreischer will join them as well. Into a big signing, the Cubs and PCA. Pete Crow Armstrong agreed on a 6-year, $115 million deal extension, and he is staying in Chicago. Top prospects, number 2, Kevin McGonigal for Detroit, J.J. Weatherholt, the number 5 prospect for St. Louis, and number 6 prospect Nolan McLean for the Mets. They will all be starting their seasons in the MLB. Into golf, Matt Fitzpatrick wins the Valspar Championship by 1 at 11 under over David Lipsky. Came close last week at the Players, gets it done this week up at the Valspar. The third career win on the PGA Tour for Fitzpatrick, his first since the 2023 RBC Heritage. Nearly 3 years, since the last win for Fitzpatrick. Texas Children's Houston Open on deck at Memorial Park Golf Course in Houston on deck as Minwoo Lee will look to defend his title. The last chance to get World Golf Ranking points before the Masters top 50 in OWGR will have that automatic bid into the Masters. Ricky Fowler, Sahith Theegala, Billy Horschel, and Michael Thorbjornsen, some notable names not in the tournament yet. Into TGL, LAGC wins the SoFi Cup over Jupiter Lynx. They won in 2 games, and Tiger did play for Jupiter, which is a big mark as he could possibly and is most likely making a start at the Masters here in 2 weeks. Into the NHL, as the NHL mourns the loss of Jessie Pierce, a 10-season writer for NHL.com and The Wild, as she died alongside her 3 young children in a house fire in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. So big loss for the NHL community. Moving on, Thomas Chabot will be out for a while, as he was reported. Kirill Kaprizov and Joe Eriksson Ek, they returned against Tampa on Tuesday night tonight. And then Evgeny Malkin is day-to-day for Pittsburgh, did not play in their game Tuesday evening. Dylan Larkin returned Tuesday for Detroit, a big piece of that puzzle, back for the Red Wings. Anthony Stolarz was hit in the neck in practice on Saturday, taken to the hospital, but he did start for Toronto on Tuesday. And then the Avalanche and the Stars are the first 2 teams to clinch a playoff spot, as the Canucks are the first to be eliminated from the playoffs. Into the standings. As of March 24th at 10:30, the Sabres lead the Atlantic 8-1-1 in their last 10. Hurricanes lead the Metro 6-4-0 in their last 10. Bruins and Senators occupy those last wild card spots. Avalanche lead the Central, they're 6-3-1 in their last 10, as are the Ducks in the Pacific at 6-3-1 in their last 10. The Mammoth and the Predators in those last first wild card spots, rather. And then Nikita Kucherov leads skaters in points and assists at 119 and 79, while Nathan MacKinnon leads in goals at 45. Evan Bouchard leads defensemen in points at 79, and Jacob Chychrun leads in goals at 23, while Quinn Hughes in assists at 63. Beckett Seneca leads rookies in points at 59, Matthew Schaefer in goals at 22, and Ivan Demidov in assists at 38. While Scott Wedgwood leads goalies in both goals against and save percentage at 2.19 and .916. A lot of games to get to in this recap. Here we go. On Tuesday, the Islanders beat the Maple Leafs 3-1. Canadians beat the Bruins 3-2 in overtime. Cole Caulfield gets it done. Blue Jackets beat the Hurricanes 5-1. Wild beat the Blackhawks 4-3. Mats Zuccarello. The Predators beat the Jets 4-3 in a shootout. Ryan O'Reilly does it for the Preds. Oilers beat the Sharks 5-3. Canucks beat the Panthers 5-2. Sabres beat the Golden Knights, a shutout for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in a 2-0 victory. And the Lightning beat the Kraken 6-2. On to Wednesday, the Devils beat the Rangers 6-3. Hurricanes beat the Penguins 6-5 in overtime. Sean Walker gets it done. Capitals beat the Senators 4-1. Stars beat the Avs 2-1 in a shootout. Wyatt Johnston with the game winner. Flames beat the Blues 2-1 in a shootout. Joel Farabee getting it done. And then the Flyers beat the Ducks 3-2 in overtime. Noah Cates. On to Thursday, Bruins beat the Jets 6-1. Senators beat the Islanders 3-2. Red Wings beat the Canadiens 3-1. Blue Jackets beat the Rangers 6-3. Blackhawks beat the Wild 2-1. Predators beat the Kraken 3-1. Panthers beat the Oilers 4-0. A shutout for Sergei Bobrovsky. Lightning beat the Canucks 6-2. Mammoth beat the Golden Knights 6-0. A shutout for Vamelka. The Sabres beat the Sharks 5-0. A shutout for Alex Lyon. And Flyers beat the Kings 4-3 in a shootout. Trevor Zegras. On to Friday. Hurricanes beat the Leafs 4-3 in overtime. Alex Nikishin gets it done. The Capitals beat the Devils 2-1. Avs beat the Blackhawks 4-1. Flames beat the Panthers 4-1. And the Ducks beat the Mammoth 4-1. Whole bunch of 4-1 victories on Friday. On to Saturday, another 11 games. Penguins beat the Jets 5-4 in a shootout. Sidney Crosby getting the winner. Predators beat the Golden Knights 4-1. Wild beat the Stars 2-0 in overtime. Vladimir Tarasenko getting it done. Sabres beat the Kings 4-1. Flyers beat the Sharks 4-1. Blue Jackets beat the Kraken 5-2. Canadiens beat the Islanders 7-3. Sabres beat the Leafs 5-2. Blues beat the Canucks 3-1. Bruins beat the Red Wings 4-2. And the Lightning beat the Oilers 5-2. On to Sunday. The Jets beat the Rangers 3-2 in a shootout. Kyle Connor with the game winner. Avs beat the Capitals 3-2. Brock Nelson gets it done in overtime. Hurricanes beat the Penguins 5-1. Predators beat the Blackhawks 3-2 in overtime. Philip Forsberg getting it done for the Predators, who are hot at the right time, looking to make the playoffs in a team that looked like they were falling off, are now climbing their way back up. Islanders beat the Blue Jackets 1-0. Ilya Sorokin with another shutout as the Golden Knights beat the Stars 3-2. And then the Flames beat the Lightning 4-3 in overtime. Ryan Strome gets the game winner. Ducks beat the Sabres 6-5 in overtime. Troy Terry with the overtime winner. And the Mammoth beat the Kings 4-3 in overtime. Nick Schmaltz with the game winner. And then just one game on Monday as the Senators beat the Rangers 2-1. And now the NCAA Men's Frozen Four kicks off later this week, starting on Thursday. It will be number 3 Michigan State taking on UConn at 1:30 p.m. on ESPN2. And then Dartmouth versus Wisconsin at 5 p.m. on ESPNU. And then number 2 North Dakota versus Merrimack at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN2. And Providence versus Quinnipiac at 5 p.m. on ESPN+. On to Friday. It will be number 4 Western Michigan versus Minnesota State at 2:30 on ESPNU. Number 1 Michigan versus Bentley at 5:30 p.m. on ESPNU. And then Denver versus Cornell at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. And then Minnesota Duluth versus Penn State at 9 p.m. on ESPN2. Into the men's college baseball rankings. Number 1 UCLA, number 2 Texas, number 3 Georgia Tech, number 4 Arkansas, number 5 Auburn, number 6 Ole Miss, and number 7 Georgia. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Virginia. Number 10, Florida State. Number 11, Southern Miss. Number 12, Southern California. Number 13, North Carolina. Number 14, North Carolina State. Number 15, Coastal Carolina. Number 16, Oregon State. Number 17, West Virginia. Number 18, Ole Miss. Number 19, Kentucky. Number 20, Oregon. Number 21, Tennessee. And then number 22, ASU. Number 23, Notre Dame. Number 24, Nebraska. Number 25, Texas A&M, Florida, Clemson, Wake Forest, and Louisiana all drop out. Into men's college basketball, the Sweet 16 is on the horizon. And there's 16 teams remaining, 6 from the Big Ten, 2 from the Big East, 4 from the SEC, 3 from the Big 12, and 1 from the ACC. On Thursday, starting in the West, it will be number 11, Texas, versus number 2, Purdue at 7:10 on CBS, and number 4, Arkansas, and number 1, Arizona at 9:45 on CBS. And then in the South on Thursday, number 9, Iowa versus number 4, Nebraska. That will be a big matchup, their third meeting of the year, the battle of who has better corn. And then that's on TBS at 7:30 on. And then number 3, Illinois versus number 2, Houston at 10:05 on TBS. Into Friday in the East, number 5, St. John's versus number 1, Duke. That's at 7:10 on CBS. Duke has never won a national championship unless they've beaten St. John's. If Duke beats St. John's, I like the odds for Duke. See what happens. Number 3, Michigan State will take on number 2, UConn at 9:45 on CBS. Tom Izzo versus Dan Hurley. And then the Midwest, number 4, Alabama versus number 1, Michigan at 7:35 on TBS. And number 6, Tennessee versus number 2, Iowa State at 10:10 on TBS. That's all I have for you this week on the Eli Angle podcast. Make sure to tune in next week where we will have a Final Four officially in the college basketball tournament. But until then, I'll see you next time on the Eli Angle podcast. So long.